All right, just topped off with fuel. And now I'll sit behind some cars until I get onto the road I'm going to take. Pretty day, albeit a little bit chilly. It says it's 52, but it feels a bit colder than that because it is quite breezy today. So I actually have my mid layer on so I can stay nice and warm. Grips are set to medium, seat set to medium. Surprised there's not more cars out here. Probably should slow down a little bit so the buzz doesn't want to pull me over. Today is Sunday. I was going to go out for a ride yesterday afternoon. That didn't go to plan because a little storm came in and started spitting snow. It got a little dusting last night, but snow melted really quick this morning. I thought I'd go out and enjoy this weather while I have the chance. Get on the bike for a bit, and I want to test this camera because it's new. My old Osmo Action 4 kept on just crapping out, just dying on me for no reason, and it's well out of warranty. And rather than send it in and try to have it fixed, I thought I'd just go ahead and buy another one since the Action 5 is out now. These 4s are relatively inexpensive, and of course the day after I bought this, DJI on their refurbished website had these really cheap. They're like $209. Way cheap. I paid just a little bit more. I think I paid $250 for this one. No reason for me to get the Action 5. Doesn't really do anything that these don't, the Action 4s. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully this doesn't shut off and I have the same problem. If that's the case, probably not that other camera, and it's just something to do with the vibration. Although the mount that I have this on is pretty darn sturdy. So we shall see. The place I'm going to go today, it's just going to be a short little ride, and I'll go to a little spot I go to where I have a Starbucks double shot, little double shot in a can. They're really good and really addictive. So I'll stop there. It's right on a river. Beautiful little spot. Not as beautiful this time of year because the trees along the river, or bushes along the river, aren't green or filled with leaves. So won't be as pretty, but it's still a pretty spot to me, and I'll join my double shot and then skedaddle home. I have an issue on my nose. Alright, so the screen went blank on this one. That shows it's still recording. Now I thought I had it set to have the screen stay on, but it's not doing that, obviously. So I'll check that when I stop. Now I have cars in front of me and behind me, so if either of them get annoying, I'll probably just pull over and stop. I don't like cars right in front of me and right behind me, unless if they're behind me and breathing down my neck, I don't like it. If they're just behind me, and obviously it doesn't bother me. But we'll see how fast these people go. Luckily that truck up there with the wood in it is turning. Might be a little busy on this road today anyway, because it's a pretty day. Especially if you're in a car, because you don't feel the wind. I don't expect any ice or anything on the road from the snow last night, because like I said, it was just a dusting. Also don't like being behind a car that's just going to ride their brakes around small little corners like that. And it obstructs the view of the camera. I don't think people really want to watch the back end of the car. We hit a passing zone. I'll probably pass this guy, and if not, then I'll just pull over, because I'm not going to sit here just behind this person. And in fact, I think that's what I'll do, is I'll pull over, because there's enough cars. Even if I pass this guy, there's that person in front. I don't want to do that. So I'm just going to pull over here, stop for a few minutes, and let these cars get the heck out of my way, and then carry on. Looks like I have a little bit of a gap here. Maybe once I see a car coming, I'm going to dart out. That way it gives a big enough gap with the people in front of me. Because I hate dealing with cars, especially beautiful places like this, because there's always a looky-loo. Here comes a car. There's always looky-loos that go really slow and muck it up for everybody else and not giving a shit about the people around them. And that just drives me nuts. There's a passing zone right here, so I could have passed at least one of those cars in front of me. But if I had only got one, then I'd still have to deal with the other one. But I'll just cruise along here and enjoy the view. In my old days, it was all about going fast. And now it's just about enjoying the scenery. I suppose that's why I have an adventure bike and not a sport bike. I had quite a few sport bikes in my younger years before I got old and crusty. I should try to count how many motorcycles I've had. I won't count the ones when I was well, I'll count one, or I'll talk about one that I had when I have not even been 16 yet. I didn't have a driver's license. And a friend of mine's family had a old Honda Elsinore 125 sitting in their garage, and it was just sitting there. Well, I just kind of rode it. It actually did not have a front brake. Just had a rear brake, which is not something you really want on a motorcycle. But that's what I dealt with. It was transportation when I was that age, so it didn't bother me. But I won't really count that in my count of overall bikes, because frankly, I didn't even own that one. I don't even know what ever happened to that thing. But my first real bike was I think it was a 1980 Honda CB 750F. That was a great bike. I love that thing. I still love those things. I wouldn't mind finding an old one and restore it. But finding one that's even worth restoring these days, that already hasn't been restored or at least reconditioned, is very hard. Most of them are junked by now. Ones that are still around are either just piles of parts and bolts, or have been reconditioned and they always wanted a lot of money for them. That was my first bike. Had that for a while, and finding some riders. And then had a big gap before I had my next bike. The next bike was a Honda 97 Honda DFR 750. Another great bike. I've had some good ones. Actually, I had two of those because I got hit by a car on my first one, and then bought another one of the exact same thing. It's a great bike. Gear-driven cams, so it had gear whine that was just glorious to listen to. I actually put a pipe on the second one. It was loud, but you couldn't hear the gear whine, so I got rid of the pipe. It was ridiculous. Why would you want to hide that sound? It was fantastic. Let's see. Traded my second one in on a 2001 ZX9R. That Cowie had that Cowie candy apple green, and it was just, oh, that was a great bike. Great motor. At the time, that was Kawasaki's middleweight sport bike, and it was heavier and I don't know about slower than the other middleweight bikes from Suzuki and Honda and Yamaha, but great motor, very comfortable, and now again, a fantastic bike. Again, if I could find one in good condition these days, I'd buy it in a millisecond. So comfortable. I actually did about an 850-mile day on that bike when I moved from Seattle back down to LA. Another long story there. And what I do with that, I traded that one in on a 2004 ZX10R. Another Cowie. I like Cowies. Always have. Always will. And what happened with that one? Had that for a while, and then traded that one in on a 2006 Cowie ZX10R that had been redesigned, and I love the way that bike looked. Still love the way that bike looks. I think sport bikes today are kind of ugly. Back in those days, in the mid-2000s, I thought bikes were at their peak for looks, at least. I mean, I'm sure the technology and everything's a heck of a lot better now, but as far as looks go, shoot, I'm getting up on a car. Bikes just look better. So that was a green one. They didn't have the candy apple green at that time. They just had the Kawasaki regular green. Had that for a while and got stolen. and replaced it with another 2006 ZX-10R that was black, that looked really good when it was clean. And had that one, I think I owned that for a week and a half before that one got stolen. And replaced it with another, did I replace it with another black one or another green one? Can't remember. Had that for a while. That one got stolen. 3 bikes in a row stolen. This was all in the span of a year. 3 bikes stolen. And I was done. And so I didn't replace that one. And didn't have a bike for a very, very long time. Then I had and that was enough of the sport bikes, because in the ZX-10 days, I used to go up this mountain called Palomar Mountain in San Diego County and do just dumb things, hauling ass around corners. It was a great road for that because it was an outback. There's no really through. It wasn't really a through road, kind of. Yeah, but some of my friends and people I knew died on that road and died riding sport bikes. And that got into my head, and so I started not riding as well because I started riding way too cautiously. And frankly, I found those ZX-10s not as comfortable as the ZX-9. I always seem to be faster on the ZX-9 than the ZX-10, even though the ZX-10 was a much more powerful motorcycle. It just was faster because I was so much more comfortable on the ZX-9. So, anyways, big gap. Then I don't know what made me start looking at adventure bikes. And this was 2009, 8? I don't remember the year. Might have been 2008. So I guess it wasn't that big of a gap. And I bought a V-Strom 1000. Again, another good bike. I bought that bike because I wanted to start doing trips with a friend of mine. And took that bike on a trip. I lived in Southern California at the time and took that bike on a trip through Utah and Colorado. Great trip. And this is going to start a trend. I got rid of that bike. Look at this scenery. I'm getting distracted. Look at this scenery. This beautiful area. Yeah, beautiful. Can't wait till this is all green, which should be in another month. Okay, back to the motorcycle store. I sold the V-Strom 1000. I just I go in and out of motorcycling. Like I said, this is the start of a trend. I get bored of motorcycles, stop riding them a whole bunch, and they end up sitting, and so I sell them. And so sold that, and then of course that same friend, Jeff, we started talking about doing another trip just around California. And so, bought another motorcycle. Oh, that's a motorcycle behind me. I thought that was a car. And so I bought a, what did I buy? A 2007 KTM 990 Adventure. And another awesome bike. Did that trip just around all over California, up through the Sierras, down the coast, up into the Tahoe area. It's just fantastic. And And that started the adventure bike trend. And what did I buy after that? Traded that in on a 2015 Yamaha Super Tenere. And that was a nice bike for long trips. Way too heavy and couldn't really do dirt very well. Not a lot of ground clearance, but great on long trips. Had that for a while. Got rid of that. What did I have after that? I've had so many bikes I'm losing track of. What I've had. What did I have after that? I think I bought my BMW F850 GS. I think that's what I bought after that. That was a good bike, but I never really bonded with it. Coming from a KTM, other bikes just don't tend to have, I don't know, the personality that I was looking for. Something that I would bond with. Sounds weird, bonding with a motorcycle, but I mean, that's what I do. You bond with your bike, at least I would hope that you would. And not just tools. Although I guess a lot of people look at them that way. But to me, it's something else. You gotta look at your bike and love it. Almost like you love a human. And I never looked at that bike that way. Did some trips on that bike. Had a good time on it. Did quite a few trips on it. And then, again, turned into that bike just sitting. And I think I went actually over a year once and then didn't ride it once. And so I sold that and went through a gap with no motorcycle, and then I saw the Norden 901. And don't run in front of me. Don't walk in front of me. Just get out of the way. And fell in love with it. Just the looks of it. Like I said, you gotta look at a bike and just love it. And I saw the Norden 901, and being from the KTM family, as you've seen chassis is the 890. But I love the looks of the Norden a lot better. And so I looked at Nordens for a while, started watching YouTube videos. Worst thing for me to start doing, watching YouTube videos on stuff. And couldn't help myself one day and went out and bought it. Like, this is just over a year old. And this is a bike that I look at and just love it. I love looking at this thing. I love riding this thing. Power's fantastic. Feels great. Very comfortable. I love the cruise control. Wish my F850 had. Heated grips. Oh, damn it, somebody's in my spot. Spot. This is the spot I normally stop at. Heated grips, which again my 850 had. A few months ago I actually bought a heated seat for the Norden, and oh my lord, that is wonderful. It's on right now and it's actually too hot. It's burning my keister right now. I should probably turn that off. And the seats, the grips down. Oops. Go down. Oops. Excuse me while I try to figure out how to use this thing. Oops, I want to go that way. Okay. Now you carry on with what the hell I was talking about. Yep, both down to 1. Still quite a bit of ice buildup down there. I have another spot I can go to up here. Anyways, that's my motorcycle story. I am not getting rid of this bike. I've had a couple other bikes in between that I didn't really talk about. I had a DRZ 400, and I think I only rode that thing like 800 miles. And I had a Honda CRF 250L Rally, and didn't put many miles on that either. In fact, that's the bike I owned that bike when I got the Norden, but it just sat in the garage. Cool bike to noodle around town on, but you're certainly not going to do any trips, and I'm hoping to do some trips this year on this thing. Didn't ride it near enough that last year. Alright, I'll stop babbling on about my bikes. I know you can't see it, but the cool little area up there. This is a cool little road. Especially when all these bushes get their leaves and turn nice and green. Very pretty. I don't know that I'd want a summer home here, but very pretty. It's very close to my house. Alright, clouds, go away. Alright, thank you. Nope. Almost rode right by the spot I was going to stop at. Alright, I'm going to chill here, have my double shot. Enjoy the scenery. There's another nice little spot to watch the water go by, listen to the water, and probably check in when I'm heading back. Alright, this is the spot I just had my double shot at. Listen to the water. Enjoy the scenery. It's a pretty river. This is the North Fork of the South Platte, I believe. Nice view of those are called the spires. You can hike up to there, which I would never do, but you can. Some people can. And these will all get leaves on them. And it'll be nice and green and stunningly beautiful here. Still beautiful now, but even better. Alright, let's finish this ride here. Enjoy this beautiful ride home. Comes a motorcycle. First one I've seen. Nope, not with its car, I think. Yeah, it's a car. Cyclops light. This is a loop. I'm doing a loop that I call the Foxton loop. And you go down 126 and come along here. I forget this road, County Road 98, 89, something like that. Anyways. And then I go up this road called Foxton Road. Whoop, hello. And that's a loop I'm going to try to do. I'm not totally sure I'm going to be able to do it. This is the little community of Foxton, as you can tell by the sign right there. Just looks like some summer homes. Excuse me. And now we're through it. But what I was saying is, I'm not sure I'm going to be able to make this loop today. I took this in a car a few weeks ago, and there was still ice in the road. There's a shaded spot up here that is obviously shaded, and so it stays icy longer than any place else along this road. Looks like they've also done some kind of road work and succeeded in making it worse. I took off my mid layer and now I'm having regrets about that. So I'm going to go slow through here. This is coming up to that shady spot. And just make sure I'm not going to hit any ice. And the road, I don't know how the road's going to be going up the other side. You can see there's still ice down here. And there was some of that across the road. We came through here in the car a while ago. Yeah, it's a little chilly. Probably going to be chilly when it's really chilly once I start going faster. Realize I probably didn't say that loud enough. Probably going to be more chilly once I start going faster. And I'll have to go slow up this other road up here. There's going to be dirt in the corners. And the possibility of a little bit of ice. Just because, like I said, we did get a dusting of snow last night. Please don't turn left. Please don't turn left. Please don't turn left. Please don't turn left. Good. All right. So I'm going to have to be careful going up here because there's the very high possibility of dirt in corners. High possibility of dirt, lower possibility of ice. And that's why I'm taking this way. If I thought there was going to be ice, I wouldn't even come here. I wouldn't even go this way, that is. Also, people blow this corner like mad. It's really sharp when you're going the other way and not expecting it. We may have some clouds coming in. Shit, there's the car up here. But maybe I can get around them. Look at that truck. Good news on this ride today is this camera did not shut off, and it ran the entire way down to my little chill spot. So that's good news. We might have some clouds coming in, which is what happened yesterday. It was kind of pretty yesterday, very windy, but pretty yesterday. And then the clouds came in, then started spitting snow a little bit in the afternoon, and yesterday evening it really started spitting snow. And like I said, it was just a dusting inch, enough to cover stuff. I think there'll be a spot up here I can get past these people. Cool little corner. Ah! Gotta watch that dirt. If you're not paying attention, not ready for it, you can muck up your day. This is another nice road to take a cruise on. pretty. There's some pretty areas along here. Some little house, some not little. There's a couple big houses through here. And then we'll be going by a park that a lot of people go hiking at. I appreciate this guy in front of me trying to keep up the pace to allow me to go. I'm gonna have to turn up my heated grips a little bit. It says it's 58, but it feels way chilly. Grips on. If he's going slower, this would be a good spot to pass him. If not, he'll just go slower in the corners. See his corners coming, and then he goes slow, straight. It's playing fast enough so I can't pass him. This is the park, Reynolds Park. My wife and I hiked there once, many years ago. It was nice, but I'm not much of a hiker these days, so I haven't been back since. You can tell by looking at this grass, even though it looks brown now, that it's wanting to turn green. Here's some of the nice homes up here. I don't know that I want to live here. Certainly some nice looking homes. And there's a creek running down here. Just a creek, it's not a river. So I doubt they hear anything. And as you can see, there's still some snow on the ground over on the left. Is this place in the winter does not get a lot of snow, or not a lot of sun, so not much chance for it to melt. So I do not do this road at all in the winter. No, luckily I don't have far to go, because it is feeling a bit brisk. Going down to 50, let's say 55 degrees, but it feels colder than that just because of the breeze. It was nice where I stopped to chill because there was no breeze whatsoever, so it made it nice and warm. That's what made me take off my mid-flyer. If the sun wasn't behind clouds, it'd feel even warmer than this. I've been doing this loop in either a car or on a motorcycle since we moved here 11 years ago. I don't know why, I just like it. I'd like to have some property like this that had some grass in it. Our house is on the side of a mountain, and there's nothing but big boulders and steepness. Don't have any grass. There's another park-like area coming up here on the left. And I think they might do frisbee golf and some other activities there. I think they had zip line at one point. It's a little farther. Hi, dear. I was wondering why that guy put on the brakes. Made me look around. Usually there's a reason for it. Just realized I babbled about my motorcycles all the way through Pine Grove. Never talked. I don't think I said one word about that town as we went through. That was a little community before my turn to my chill spot. It's 54. Just those clouds blocking the sun. It's a nice thing about living at elevation. It gets cold here, but if the sun's out, it feels a heck of a lot warmer. Amazing the power of the sun. 9,000 feet, 8 or 9,000 feet. My house is actually at just under 9,000. And it's a shame the sun's not out because this is another beautiful area. There's a dog. There's somebody there with him. Oh yeah, there's people. I don't know how big this park is on the left, but I think this is all a part of it. There's a parking lot over there. I don't know what that building is. The playground there. It's going to be quite chilly on the highway. I think I jinxed it by taking out my mid-layer. If I go straight on that road back there, I can take the back way to my house, and that's another nice little road. But there's certainly going to be ice spots on that. Actually, it's not as cold as I thought it'd be. Luckily, I have the tall windshield on at this moment. So it blocks a lot of wind. Or a lot more than that lower one. That lower one is not much above the GPS. All right, well, thanks for coming along the ride with me, listening to me babble about my motorcycle history. And if you like this video, you know what to do. If I even post this video. I don't post 90% of the videos I make on my motorcycle channel. It's not a focus of mine.